Game theory of the Panarchist Constitution. This is the most difficult game theory analysis of all of my proposals, because of the possibility of shifting loyalties and the ever-present depressing reality of might makes right. When your military is mercenaries, who are they loyal to? You or money? Could multiple mercenary groups make secret alliances with each other instead of competing on the market in price? What if all of them do and form a monopoly, then put cities under siege and extort them one after another? When two or more mercenaries go to war with each other, what is preventing them from working together against you, the people with money? Isn't it a better outcome than dying on the battlefield? The answer to many of these questions is to trust market forces. Restaurants could all decide to form a monopoly tomorrow and raise prices by 5x. The same applies to any industry, but why don't they? You rarely see this happen, and when you do via consolidations and mergers, the price increases open up the field for startups to take market share. You can make the case then that the battlefield is not a free and fair marketplace, and that is a fair point. But the Panarchist Constitution is a free and fair marketplace, and you would have to hope that there are more cities desiring and demanding peace and peacekeepers than cities demanding warriors and bandits. Therefore, the peacekeepers will always have vastly larger budgets, vastly larger armies, and sensitive, carefully protected reputations to uphold. The market keeps them honest. They have to earn their salaries by being loyal, effective, affordable peacekeepers, not disloyal mercenaries or bandits or warlords. There's also the ability for a city to remove funding at any time. Therefore, if a large military bombs a Doctors Without Borders hospital, for example, then they could potentially lose 25 to 50% of their budget overnight. This is true accountability and true distributed power. Nation-states don't have this luxury, and they never will in our current territorial monopoly military system. Then, due to the market system, nations can choose their military based on market share and army size. They can do this strategically, causing no military to have more than, say, 10 to 20% market share, and severely overpower the rest in a potential military conflict. Also, when you have potentially thousands of sovereign city-states, you need potentially tens of thousands of spies. If you've read the Panarchist Constitution, you know spies fall under the military's umbrella, and a small military would have a hard time affording tens of thousands of spies. Therefore, crowdsourced or fee-based intelligence on problematic city-states would likely arise and information be shared among the huge number of small militaries. If there are 7,000 arcologies like we suggested in the beginning of Volume 1, then the Panarchist Constitution could enable perhaps as many as 100 to 300 militaries, with 25 to 70 cities on average per military. There's nothing preventing cities from contracting with multiple militaries at the same time as well. All of this seems insanely chaotic and distributed compared to the current system of national territorial monopoly, and that is because it is. But the mission statement of every one of these militaries is to keep the peace among city-states, and only psychopaths want to start and die in wars. Which leads to the next part of the game theory. All soldiers are constitutionally given the right to defect in times of war. So not only does the military leadership permanently destroy their reputation when starting an unjust war, but they also instantly ruin their revenue. And they get to watch their army disappear and wither away into a fraction of what it once was, in a matter of days. This is quite the difference from nation-states starting unjust wars, where 1, their reputation doesn't matter, 2, they lose exactly $0 in doing so. In fact, their budgets are likely to massively increase. And finally, 3, desertion is often met with murder by their fellow soldiers. And most importantly, the armies are no longer led by psychopathic politicians who never see a day on the battlefield themselves. As peace and market stability are established and persist within the vast federation of city-states, these militaries may be forced to lower their salaries, shrink their armies, in order to keep up with declining military prices. Remember, we have applied a commodity price to militarism. It is now, possibly for the first time in history, affected by supply and demand. Low demand, low price. Low price, small army. I hope I have eased some of your very valid concerns regarding the game theory of the Panarchist Constitution. In fact, in formulating this analysis, I may have eased some of my own as well. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. I hope you learned a lot from this essay. I certainly learned a lot writing it. And remember, a single Panarchist constitution is more powerful than 1,000 United Nations.